One of the most exciting things for me is the preparation part of hunting or fishing. And behind me is the Bass Pro Shop store. Whether you're going into one of the Bass Pro stores or the Cabela's, you're getting online, you're gonna find all the items that you need to gear up. And we're gonna spend some time setting up a bow, looking at scouting cameras, talking about the strength and the abilities that a deer has for its nose, what they eat, and much more in this episode of Yamaha's Whitetail Diaries.
With the advent of another hunting season, Wade and the crew have spent the last few months of summer getting ready. Now granted, based on the hunter, the rigors of preparation are relative. We're getting ready for a season of hunting for TV, while you might be prepping for a long-planned weekend with your family or buddies on a private lease. Either way, on this episode, we'll get you ready and introduce some gear that might make your hunt all that more successful.
You know, if you're starting to get into bow hunting or you've been into it for a long time, when you walk into a Bass Pro Shops or a Cabela's, you're going to see a wide range of bows and a wide range of products that's going to, fit your specific needs. And some of the first things that I look at, you start all the way down here to here, you're going to see a variety of package bows for first-time bow hunters, first-time shooters, kids that are looking to get into it. And then as you progress down the line, you're going to see a variety of other bows at a variety of price points. Some of them are going to be package bows where you basically can get it set up to fit you, because a bow choice is something that's personal. You've got to make sure that bow fits to you, matches your stature, matches your budget as well. And then you can go all the way down to the bare bones bow. And what I mean by that is it comes with nothing on it. You're going to accessorize that exactly as you want, and that's something we're getting ready to set up here at the San Antonio Bass Pro Shop store now.
One of the benefits of shopping Bass Pro or Cabela's is the level of support you get after your purchase.
We'll put the integrated drop away on it. Yeah, it's got the ridge like the Matthews, and I'm gonna set it up about 64, 65.
Buy a bow in the store or on the website, and Bass Pro and Cabela's will set up your fit and preferences for free. Now check the website for details, but the stores will also accommodate outside purchases for a small charge, just to ensure that your hunting season gets off to its best start.
Now the cool thing about Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's is they offer the ability to buy a package bow that's already pre-set up, and they basically just fit it for you, but it's gonna have the sight, it'll have the rest, it'll have everything that you need already there, and you just set it to your draw length and your poundage, and you're good to go. You can buy that right off the shelf. For me, I've been shooting the Blackout family of bows from Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's now for several years. I've shot the NV32, I've shot the NV3, now I'm gonna shoot the NVS this year. It's really a pretty cool setup. It's a bare bones bow, as I like to call it. I basically adjust and set that bow up to every way that I want.
Oh, we're gonna have to get you some clearance probably. What are you shooting for arrows?
The Blackout SX3s.
Okay, so full width.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll have to get you some more clearance. Getting the peep sight in and lined up, and then we will tie it in and rough in his height. Just about there. We'll have to fine tune that.
So we're gonna put a D-loop on, we're gonna put a peep in, we're gonna adjust the poundage, we're gonna adjust the let off. We're basically gonna set everything up to match me, and then I'll accessorize it how I want. We measured it last time, I think at 28 and a half, but I shot better with it at 29 is where we finally settled in off of it. But I mean, just getting old, I stoop over more.
Now when we put a D-loop on, we will level the arrow in the bow and fine tune the height. But that's looking pretty good right there.
The experts at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's offer a variety of archery services. They can tune your bow, help you with fit adjustments, and they also offer a broad range of archery equipment and accessories.
We are definitely a good stop if you are looking for your first bow. A lot of options that are nice and forgiving, very adjustable, and easy to pass along to the next person when you move up.
I'm just gonna pick a spot and aim, see what we can do.
Yeah.
I'm shooting the Garmin A1i Pro Zero sight. I'm gonna shoot a QAD integrated rest this year. Everything that you basically want, I can pick up at the Bass Pro Shops or Cabela's store. Then it becomes time to practice.
After servicing, a handful of shots help dial it in.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
We're there.
Yeah.
We're there.
Without a front sight, you just smacked your other arrow. So.
Did I?
Yep. I heard that. I heard those two.
That's
claps,
it.
so.
The Blackout
Pretty
Bow
good
is
stuff,
ready
let's
for
see.
another season of hunting.
Cool.
Okay.
I think we're in good shape. I got a couple things to go by. Appreciate
Yeah.
it. Thanks, sir. Appreciate
My
it.
pleasure.
We're getting good at setting these up.
I mean,
You've done a few.
I've done just a few.
Opening weekend in Kentucky is a long-standing tradition on this show. A week of bow hunting giant bucks in velvet is a dream for many. But hunts of this magnitude take a lot of preparation and planning. With Wade's Bow all set for the season, we'll turn our attention to the field. A month out from opening day, and the Whitetail Diaries crew are back in bourbon country. There's a lot of work this week, prepping camp, checking cameras, and building stands.
Yeah, setting up stands or blinds, I mean, that's kind of like going back to being a little kid and building forts. I still love it to this day. It's a lot of fun, the strategy behind it, the thoughts that go into it, the dreams of what might come strolling into your shooting lanes. And, you know, I think as I've gotten older, I look at it, there's not a lot of absolutes in this, except number one, being safe. You always do everything to be safe. Number two, try to play the prevailing wind as much as you can for an area for the time you think you're going to be hunting into that stand. And that's why a lot of people have so many stands set up in so many different locations. So they've got options so that they can hunt key areas, key food plots, different pinch points, different ways in and out. Because if you hunt one stand too much or you hunt it on the wrong stand, not saying you're going to, but you do increase the odds of blowing up an area or educating a deer in certain situations. But for us, the first thing that goes into it, we try to find an area, number one, where the deer are going to be coming to and why are they coming there. We kind of study that. Then we look at how we can get in and out of it. Then we find the perfect tree or the perfect area on the ground to be able to build the blind. And then it becomes about safety if we're hunting elevated. We build those stands, spend a lot of time to them, try to remember to put the washers on all of them because that's going to rattle if you don't. Then you begin to, as a team, put everything up, lift it up, strap them down. I'm kind of anal. I like where it may only come with 2 or 3 or 4 straps. I want to put 6 or 7 or 8 on there, so in case something fails, you've got more contact points for safety. Then from there, you start thinking about accessorizing it. You know, we look at it for how we can put little GoPros up, but also where we can hang our bows, where we can hang our gear, look at the shooting lanes, cutting some brush. You never want to cut too much cover because you need that cover to kind of hide yourself from the deer in those situations. And then once it's up, the next thing for us is probably putting up a bunch of scouting cameras to cover the area. You know, scouting cameras are something that I'm a big fan of, and we do a lot of talking about scouting cameras and how to set them up.
Scouting cameras have come a long way. Now with 360-degree viewing, FieldMax solar power, and the easy-to-use Command Pro app for your phone, you can monitor your field cameras year-round with little maintenance.
This is the big one, in my opinion. I mean, this is the Mac Daddy of all solar channels. This panel right here, I charge it up before I leave because it's got a built-in battery in there. I'll go ahead and use one of these or AA batteries, whichever it may be, inside my camera. And this is gonna power, I've got some of them. I've got one that I set up at my camp, and I've got one that I set up on a protein feeder and one on a water trough. And I set these up roughly 6.5 months ago, and I'm still getting full power out of them. That's what a guy loves to see. That's what a guy wants to see when you go to this type of a scenario. The only issues I've had, we hadn't had a lot of rain in some of them, get a little dust. I do wipe them off when we're out filling feeders. Other than that, these have been bulletproof for me. You know, I look at some of them. I've got one on a feeder we call the backfield that averages 600 to 700 photos a day when they're really hitting it hard, 300 in a slow day. And to be able to perform and maintain the power that it is and the performance that it is just tells me that Stealth Cam has hit a home run with this. It works great. It's easy to hook up, easy to install. Once again, it's got the screw-in connector into the bottom of the camera to be able to adapt to it. And it really, I can't say enough about these. I mean, I've got 12 of them that I'm getting ready to deploy coming up for this next season because I know in those remote locations I can put it out, like in Kentucky where I'm not going to be there but once or twice in a year, but I'm going to have data now with this exact setup for a long period of time.
Also, you might want to check out Stealth Cam's live view technology. Learn more at stealthcam.com. Coming up, when it comes to successful hunting, scent plays a big role. We'll talk about that and more.
When it comes to deer hunting, I mean, guys have killed some of the biggest deer in the world wearing blue jeans and a flannel shirt. And other guys are decked out in the best camo and got every cover scent and being as stealthy as they possibly can. So when it's your time, it's your time. But there are definitely certain things when it comes to playing that scent game that I think are very important. And I kind of break that down into two different things: cover scents and attractants. Let's start with the cover scents. I'm a big believer in, when it comes to trying to gain every little percentage that I possibly can when it comes to deer hunting. And that's why I like cover scents, whether I'm spraying down, whether I'm putting something on my boots or whatever it may be. But it goes beyond just buying a product off the shelf. You have to kind of, in my opinion, put some things in your favor, especially when you're hunting in those up-close means and methods. A compound bow, a crossbow, a handgun, basically anything that's gonna get those deer right in your lap. Then you really need to kind of be prepared when it comes to cover scents so that they're not smelling you. We spend a lot of time hunting in hot conditions, whether it's early season in Kentucky, whether it's in Kansas, whether it's in Texas. There's a lot of times I have spent hunting in 80+ degree weather, sometimes into the hundreds. In that case, you're sweating. There's no way around it. So some of the things that we've learned to kind of help us through those situations make a lot of sense. And the first one is just common sense. Plan your way in and out of your hunting area so that you can leave as least amount of scent as you possibly can. I still remember to this day a big deer that we tried to hunt in Kentucky. We didn't really understand where our stand was. It had been set by somebody else, and we were trying to sneak in there, walked across the food plot, and sure enough, the deer came in there, smelled them, and boom, they were gone. They smelled our feet when we were walking in. Big mistake on my behalf. I knew better than to not have rubber boots on, but on that trip, I didn't put my rubber boots on. So if I'm walking into an area that I know I'm gonna have to cross locations that the deer might cross, I want to wear my rubber boots. Now, I'm not saying you gotta climb up in the stand with them all the time, because a lot of times I'll actually take them off when I get there, put my lightweight boots on so I'm more comfortable up in the tree, but I'm trying to eliminate tracking scent. I may have bought gas in those boots. Who knows what else? I may have put them on and I'm tracking something that those deer don't need to smell, because a deer's nose is incredible. There's millions of receptors in there. They pick up scents that we don't even know are out there. And if it's anything that is unusual to their area, they're gonna go on alert. And when a deer goes on alert, basically what's happening is you've got one strike against you. They smelt something. They smelt where you walked. They smelt a change in the wind, the sweat off of you, or whatever it may be, and they're gonna raise that head up and they're gonna start working that area. They're gonna start sniffing around. You'll see them, they're really looking at it. After their nose is alerted to you, they've got their eyes and their ears on alert. You'll see those ears move in different directions, those eyes are working different directions, and they're trying to pick you off. You can definitely overcome that by having the cover scents, wearing the rubber boots in, and possibly overcome those deer that have picked up something. But if it's an old smart doe or a really smart old buck, probably gonna hear them stamp, probably gonna hear them blow, and the next thing you're gonna see is that white tail flagging as they run off in the distance. Or you may never even see that deer. I've had many hunts where they pick me up a long way away and they start blowing. I'm like, what are they blowing off of? Well, the thermals or whatever it may be have lifted our scent to them and they've picked us off. Next thing that's gonna get you in a bind is the sounds that when you're out hunting. A lot of times our hunting opportunities are in low light, early morning and late evening, and that's often the times when the wind isn't blowing as much to help cover or force our scent one direction as well as cover our sounds. Just that sound right there of when you're drawing your bow, man, I mean, that's gonna put a deer on alert. And once a deer goes on alert, they tense up, and you hear about that duck in the string situation that can happen so often. So you've gotta practice to be as quiet as you possibly can. Get your arms out away from your body. Pick the right clothing. When you walk through the Bass Pro Shops or Cabela store, put your hand up there and grab that camo, run it across, ruffle it a little bit. If it's super quiet, that's the stuff you wanna pick up to go bow hunting. and it will really pay off for you in a lot of those different hunting situations. All of that plays a role. Paying attention to your cover sense when you're walking in, being prepared with a plan to get in and out of an area. Rubber boots is a big key to hide that scent once you get in there. Your clothes not being super loud while you're up in a stand and those up close type of hunting situations. All of that will help add up to an opportunity to get that shot off and hopefully put the trophy buck of a lifetime or fill your freezer.
On this week's entry, we're at the Bass Pro Shops in San Antonio, Texas with Wade Middleton. With opening day closing in, Wade stopped by to get an annual tune-up on his bow. It includes tuning, adjustments for draw length and weight, as well as new accessory setup. If you buy from Bass Pro or Cabela's, this is typically a free service. Check your local store for details. With the Blackout Bow dialed in for another season and a little time on your hands, as long as you're at Bass Pro, might as well shop.
As you walk through the store and you start looking at all the things that are here, you look at, the feeders, you look at all the different items that are designed to cover your different feeding programs, and it always brings up a point to me about what does a deer eat? Well, a deer eats basically what's in his local area and that they have become accustomed to. What a deer is going to eat from a natural browse in San Antonio, Texas, or deep South Texas isn't always going to be the same as what you're going to see, let's say New York or Michigan or any place like that. And we recently did a video where we talked a lot about what deer eat.
Preparation for deer season doesn't just stop and start with gear and logistics. You also have to plan on how to attract and manage game. And that starts with a food plot. It doesn't have to be big, but it has to be done right. George Cummings with Buck Bourbon has a few tips on helping you get started.
There's a lot of options out there when it comes to food plots, but I really like any brassicas, any winter peas, radishes, stuff like that. The reason why I like that is because they grow really quick in the fall, and they're going to produce food all the way through fall, winter, and actually into early spring. So what we're doing here, we're going to do the winter pea radish mix, and I'm going to go in and lightly overseed with our brassica mix. That way it produces a really high amount of foliage for these animals to eat, and then we've got all the tubers to get them through the winter. What we're going to do in this corner, I like to call this a kill plot. Anything that comes into this plot, you're going to be able to shoot that animal. Keep them around an acre. Sometimes you can go a little more, a little less, and if that deer steps out into that food plot, you're going to have a pretty good chance of killing him. So what we've done here is we've went into the corner of this field. This is approximately a 60-acre river bottom, and we've taken the corner where the majority of the deer come out. We went in, we tilled this up really good, then we're going to come back and we're going to run a cultipacker over it. One of the probably most common mistakes people make whenever they're doing food plots is they do not run a cultipacker over it. And honestly, that is the easiest thing you can do to have the most amount of success on your food plot. And what I'm talking about is when you run a cultipacker over this loose soil, it's going to compact it. And that when you compact that soil, you're going to get a really good seed bed. These seeds are really small. So if you don't cultipack it, they can get too deep and then they won't sprout. Another thing that happens when you cultipack these food plots is it helps retain moisture. And that is absolutely key in fall food plots because typically here in Kentucky, from August through September, even early October, we don't get a whole lot of rain. So we want to do everything we can to retain the maximum amount of moisture in these plots.
Learn more about Buck Bourbon food plot seeds, along with their complete line of inventory at buckbourbon.com. And that'll do it for this week. A big thanks to our friends over at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Shop them online or visit one of their retail stores.
After you've gone shopping, whether you've done it online or you've done it at one of the many retail stores across the nation, now it becomes about practicing, getting everything ready. Whether you're putting out scouting cameras, whether you're building feeders, putting out blinds, hanging stands, whatever it may be. But one of the most important last things I can share is spend time shooting that bow. Go practice with it. Same situation for you handgun, you rifle hunter, really whatever you're hunting. Spend some time pulling that trigger, letting those arrows fly so you know the exact aiming point, and I promise you, you're gonna get a great experience when you do all that. So go shop, load up on all the gear, have fun, and hopefully this show's giving you some insight on gearing up for this coming deer season.
Join us next week when Yamaha Whitetail Diaries kicks off another season with opening day in Kentucky. We'll also get a sneak peek at the all-new 2025 lineup of Yamaha ATV and side-by-sides. In the meantime, get a look for yourself online at YamahaMotorsports.com. Keep up with the Yamaha Whitetail Diaries on social media. We're pretty easy to find. We'll see you next time, right here on the Yamaha Whitetail Diaries.